Hello, Dan Grubbett on Dan's Beginning Harmonica Lessons. And this is an intro video for Lesson 7. I'm going to break Lesson 7 up into three different videos, three different parts. So in 7A, we're going to focus on rock rhythms. And in 7B, we will focus on swing rhythm. And on the Lesson 7C, we'll do the shuffle rhythms. Okay, so all the stuff we did on the drums before, we're going to start doing that on the harmonica now, and I'm actually going to start on the last lesson. We already went over the previews and the notation and all that, so we're not going to. I need to preview that anymore. So we're just going to focus on those rhythms, and hopefully it'll be easier that way and a little shorter for you. One other little note: I talked about the pucker method. Remember, there's a lip block, sometimes called the LP for short. Lip blocking, where you use tongue blocking. Tongue blocking, or TB for short. Tongue blocking is when you use your tongue to block the holes that you're not using. But we've been mostly using what I was calling the pucker method. And when we do the pucker method, if you remember right, I told you to kind of make an O between your lips there. You get your note. And that's probably, if you've been doing that, that's great. And that helps you get that single note. But what I want to make sure you start doing, and if you're not doing it right now, as we go through these lessons, especially these next three lessons, to kind of work on making sure the harmonica is completely in your mouth. Because what some harmonicas have a tendency of doing, and I hope you can see this on the side, is they kind of kiss the harmonica where they're only touching the comb, the plastic comb right here, okay? And you should not be only touching this comb. Kind of like kissing it. But you should have your mouth completely over the plates. So you're actually going to be covering these numbers up with your lips. And the way to best do that, if you are having that issue right now, is just go ahead and start finding that hole using that same. And then just kind of bring the harmonica a little bit in. All right. Until you get it comfortably in your mouth and you get a nice little seal on there. So you're not shoving it in your mouth, but at the same time, you do want to have your mouth completely on that harmonica. And that's the only thing I would point out if you're not doing that now, to do that. So start with that thing, make your note, and then just kind of bring the harmonica in a little bit more if you need to. Feel free to, you're going to hit those notes when you're making that adjustment. Some little extra notes in there during that process, and that's fine. And this is the reason why I still like to use the word pucker method. I'll tell people I'm a pucker on the harmonica, although I do use some of the tongue blocking as well. But the more accurate word, and the word they use a lot more often today, is lip pursing. And they call that lip pursing because they didn't really like the pucker, because it sounded too much like you're kissing the harmonica, and you don't want to do that. But I just like the word pucker better. I'm sorry. But lip pursing, or LP, if you want to get into harmonica lingo, they like to use a lot of these little abbreviations. So you ever go to a harmonica site on Facebook or something, there's some good harmonica sites that you'll hear, well, I use the TB method as for tongue blocking, or well, I use the LP method, the lip pursing. And there's another method where you curl your tongue, and that's called a U pursing, or U blocking, I think it is. U blocking, where they make a U with the tongue. I can't even really do that. But some people can. They can make that nice little U shape with their tongue, and they can use that to block notes that they don't want to use and blow kind of through their tongue. And we're not getting into that on these lessons, but if you can do that, if you're able to curl your tongue, then you can learn the old U blocking method as well. And they probably call that UB or something. But anyway, lip lip pursing is the official name nowadays for the pucker method, and you can see why, because they want to make sure that you're getting the right seal on the harmonica, and that's it's very important as we get into bending and doing different expressions with our mouth, because that's really what's going to make the difference between a really great harmonica player and just an okay harmonica player, is all those sounds you can make and those effects you can do with your throat and with your diaphragm and with your mouth structure, and your lips and your hands and so forth. So we use a lot of different parts of ourself to get those expressions, and we should always be experimenting and trying different things and seeing what kind of new noises we can make out of this little thing, because we can take this little tiny little thing and do an awful lot with it. And I encourage you to listen to a lot of the great harmonica players and just see they can make these harmonicas cry. They can make them sing. They can make them scream. They can sound like almost like an electric guitar, or they can sound like a violin. And that's the wonderful thing about a harmonica. There's a very versatile little instrument. So anyway, that's it for this intro. Get ready for lesson 7A on the rock rhythm, and I will see you then. Goodbye.